Why do you guys think college-age kids are being targeted, right? That's a really specific demographic.
It's a really good question. I mean, why is this why is this type of MO or why is this type of crime specific? There are outliers. There's younger ones. There's other disappearances of kids and adults and women too. This is a generality, yeah.
I think a major part of it is just the partying. I think that they're young people, they're unpredictable. It's easier to think a guy can get hammered and fall off a bridge. I think it's just an easier cover-up story for
Interesting.
them. It's easy targets. You get these guys in a club, they're already drunk, you spike their drink. And this is another thing about them, is they always seem to find the gaps in the closed circuit television and the cameras. They always seem to find these voids, and then that's when they disappear.
In my opinion, there's a lot of pre-planning and a lot of premeditation involved in these cases. I think you see the same thing like abuse of women. There's so many stories of women being drugged and abused. Maybe not killed, but definitely roofied. There's a legion. I mean, I could write another book on that.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many people have been caught roofing women and abusing women. So this is something, the victim is male. So in my opinion, I think the majority of these perps, and I have a whole thing in my most recent book about SFK. I have a whole chapter about these types of crimes, like I call it offender typology. So the offender's interested in men, he's gay. And some of these guys outwardly are not gay. They have marriages, they have girlfriends, but they're bisexual. So there's a lot of cover and deception and things like that. But I think really the ultimate thing is, why do these crimes emulate this, or why are they like this? The males are targeted for one reason or another. I think that also there's a strong undercurrent or current of LGBT type stuff involved in this. And that's kind of like, most people, that's really like a career suicide to like say, hey, there might be gay people being predators towards other men who aren't gay. There's clearly an association with these gay apps. It's not even arguable. I just reposted on my X account the first case I really studied, which is Joey LaBute out of Columbus, Ohio. And there's a lot of similarities between Joey and Jimmy Gracie, because something was happening in Barcelona. There was some kind of festival going on, and that was the same thing that was happening with Joey LaBute in Columbus, because it was the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, which is a bodybuilding classic. So people were flying in from all over the world, and the similarities really are the same between LaBute and stuff. And also that one was very strange. LaBute is online, gay apps, in a bar where the video surveillance is lousy, whether by design, and then he just disappeared. His car is there, and he's found 19 days later in the Scioto River. So that's where it all started for me. So you can check out that video. I have like a 20-minute video on X, but it just shows once you study these enough, you just see the same MO over and over and over and over again.
I have another question. As soon as you mentioned LGBTQ people targeting another group of LGBTQ people, I'm wondering if you guys are familiar with this new theory around the SS, a lot of them being gay and then taking it out on their lower officers. This kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. I think there's a lot of the gay people were in the Nazi movement. I think the Nazi movement was primarily occult and gay. They didn't like to associate with the Christians, the traditional conservative Christians. There was always kind of like an internal war, so...
They were sharp dressers, for sure.
That's sort of a common human psychological thing, maybe. If you're ashamed about being gay, you kind of take it out in like a homicidal way on other gays.
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. Especially if you're deep in the closet. I think some of these guys, though, I studied guys who were occultists. One of the guys, like my first documentary, I used an image from a guy named Peter Christofferson, who was a known Crowleyite. He was a member of the Illuminates of Thanateros. But he made this video called Broken, which really follows almost like it's supposedly fictional, but it looks real, and I think it follows what these guys are interested in, trolling for men, and they bring them somewhere and torture them, and then they ritually drown them, and then it makes it, and then they get away with it.